You're listening to the PRO Media Network. The next level in entertainment.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
What's up, boxing world? What's going on? You're now listening to Ring King Boxing. That's right, Ring King Boxing. We talking pro boxing here in a major capacity, man. And the major contributor on the line as usual, I'm Big Q, and we have boxing experts and boxing aficionado Eddie Too Mean Johnson chiming in. What's going on, Too Mean?
What's good?
Welcome aboard, man, to Ring Kings Boxing episode 353. In this brief show, we'll be recapping some serious fights that happened this past weekend, man. Crawford versus Amir Khan, we got that one. That we'll put that one up next. Danny Garcia took on Adrian Granados. We'll get you recap that one. We got news on AJ and, of course, you know, the saga that is. Man, I don't know what to say about Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller did all that talking, did all that nonsense, and to get up there and get busted 3 times. He failed 3 tests. The first test, he bullshitted around, said, oh, man, this is some bull crap. And then the next 2, he failed, taking steroids and performance-enhancing drugs, while blaming AJ, saying AJ was taking the stuff. How ironic it is that big mouth Jarrell Miller got caught up in some crap. So, man, we'll go over that and tell you about the latest news on AJ's next opponent, because it damn sure ain't going to be Jarrell Miller. And, of course, one of the best, probably debatable, one of the baddest female boxers in the history of the female side of sport, of the boxing sport game, Claressa Shields, man. I mean, it's debatable, man. You know, she up there. You know, we'll talk about her big old win over Hammer. She hammered the Hammer. And where does she rank in terms of the women in the hierarchy of the greatest women boxers in the game? I mean, you talking about Layla Ali, you know what I'm saying? You talking about your girl from Texas. We have some, you know, we're gonna let Too Mean chime in because he loved talking about the boxing side, the women's side of boxing. But without further ado, man, let's get into this first episode dealing with 353, dealing with this Amir Khan situation. Of course, Amir Khan took on one of the baddest boxers in the game. And a lot of people like, you know, high tech. They like Lomachenko because he's exciting, you know. But man, listen, Terrence Crawford been putting in work for a very long time, and everybody and his mama knew, except for Amir Khan's mama, knew that Amir Khan ain't gonna have a chance against Terrence Crawford. But what happened? They said, you know, they stopped the fight. It's a TKO, pretty much what it is. Amir Khan had an incidental low blow to the, you know, a low blow. I seen a low blow. Too Mean, you seen a low blow. It wasn't all that, man. You could have kept fighting. Even Teddy Atlas talked about it. He felt, you know, Amir Khan disrespected the sport. Roy Jones came out and said that he shamed himself. And a lot of other really great people that follow the sport said that Amir Khan really played himself. To me, what's your thoughts on Terrence Crawford, you know, basically, you know, taking Amir Khan apart, and instead of going out on his feet, he played this little game where I'm just too hurt to continue. What you think about it, buddy?
I think it was some bullshit because, you know what I'm saying, what was on the line? You know what I'm saying? He said he wanted to complete his legacy, and that would have been perfect for him. He would have been champ, and he would have been back in the damn spotlight again. And you know what I'm saying, over a low blow, come on, man. I mean, he was walking around and shit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, nah, man. I I think he was looking for an exit out of that fight because I think Terrence was definitely in the process of dominating him totally, like even outboxing him and everything. Man. He was eventually break him down and knock him out anyway. I mean, from round one, you see how he just came and set him up with that right hand and dropped his ass in the first round. Canelo couldn't even do that shit to him. So he was looking for an exit out of that fight.
Yeah, I think you're right, man, because the way, it wasn't even close, man. It was confusing. Some said it was confusing and disappointing how it ended up because it had all this great build up about Amir Khan, how he's going to reset the welterweight game and he's going to bring a certain level of professionalism to the sport. But it just didn't work, man. Crawford just took him apart. Now he's 35-0 with 26 knockouts and made his second defense of the WBA title, pretty much dominating him, in New York, in the Madison Square Garden, taking him apart with a TKO in the 6th round. So now the pound for pound debate about Amir Khan, about Crawford. Of course, Lomachenko is a guy that everybody sweating. I'm not going to take nothing away from Lomachenko. He's a bad boy. But Terrence Crawford, man, is an excellent fighter, man. So, quickly getting into that pound for pound debate, Eddie, right quick. Give me your top 3 right now, pound for pound best boxers in that class.
You talking about, you said pound for pound?
Yeah, give me your pound for pound. Give me a top 3 pound for pound right now in the boxing game, in your opinion.
In my opinion, it's like everybody else got opinions. You know what I'm saying? I think I put Crawford first, Errol Spence, and then Lomachenko, and then I have to say Canelo first, then Terrence Crawford, and then Errol Spence, and then Lomachenko at 4. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion.
Now let me.
Canelo did more, so that's why I give him number 1 right now.
Let me ask you this, because you mentioned two of my favorite fighters in the game right now. Terrence Crawford, always like Terrence Crawford. I like how he's a true consummate professional. Errol Spence, to me, really showed, I always thought Errol Spence was a talented fighter, but he really showed a different dimension in the game when he just took apart Mikey Garcia. I mean, literally took him apart, and there was nothing he can do. And I've seen Errol Spence fight many fights, but I've never seen him as calculating and as focused as he was in that Mikey Garcia fight. I mean, he was just on another level. So if you quickly, before we go on to our next topics, a fight between Crawford and the likes of Errol Spence, who wins that fight in your opinion?
That's a 50-50 fight. I'm like, it's going to come boil down to who got the most heart, who wants it the most. That fight right there is real hard to call, man. It's like a 50-50. Like, who wants it more in the ring, you know what I'm saying? Once they get in there and start fighting. You know what I'm saying? It's going to boil down to who wants it more. Because, like I say, a lot of people sleeping on Errol Spence, like his boxing ability and stuff. You know what I'm saying? He can, you know what I'm saying? He's a full, you know what I'm saying? He definitely got all the special effects too, man. So, you know what I'm saying? Just take certain fighters to bring that part of him out. Like Mikey Garcia, he wanted to prove something, so, you know what I'm saying? He wanted to prove that his IQ is a little higher than Mikey Garcia. Like, people were saying his IQ is not as high as Mikey Garcia, but he proved everybody wrong that said that. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I remember what he was saying about, when he was talking about a fighter like Sugar Ray Leonard, who he idolized. Sugar Ray basically made that comment that he was going to lose the fight to Mikey Garcia. Remember what he said? And that kind of sparked Errol Spence to elevate his game, because he mentioned that in an interview saying, man, guys like Sugar Ray Leonard saying that I was going to lose the fight. When you hear guys you idolize and he kind of copied his boxing style from, tell him that he's going to lose to another fighter, and you idolize this man, you kind of took pieces of his game. You got to look at what what Errol did. Now everybody want Crawford and Errol Spence. Man, you were saying that last year before anybody even started. When Crawford decided to get into the welterweight, we knew the two of the top heavy welterweights in the game was Errol Spence and Crawford. But now the clamor's on as Crawford continues to dominate opponents and Errol Spence's performance against Mikey Garcia. Now we have two, some people say 1 and 2 welter, or 1A, 1B, however you want to mention them, lining up against each other. But also a little back news to hit you with is that Pacquiao's next fight has been narrowed down between two fighters. And right now, one of the top two fighters one of the first fighters, the first fighter that Pacquiao's team is trying to line up a match against is Keith Thurman. So that Pacquiao is looking at Keith. He don't want no part of Spence, even though Spence told him in the ring, "Hey man, come on," But Pacquiao is looking at two fighters, Keith Thurman and Sean Porter. What's your thoughts on that as well before we finish on this Crawford and Kahn fight?
Yeah, I think believe it or not, I think Pacquiao will beat both of them. He'll beat Sean Porter and he'll beat Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? Because of his speed and his movement, his lateral movement and stuff like that. I don't think they're going to be able to handle that. And Pacquiao make you fight. You know what I'm saying? You got to spend a lot of energy and shit like that. And he come from all angles and stuff, man. I think you know what I'm saying? I think he would beat both of them. But, you know what I'm saying? That'll definitely a test of Pacquiao, see if he really should still be boxing right now. But I think he'll beat him, though.
Well, you look at Thurman. Keith Thurman is coming off that injury. He didn't look too good in his last fight. The guy actually fought him and came. I mean, Keith just didn't have that pop in his punches, and the guy wasn't free.
A lot of ring rust because he's been out of the ring for a while, man. Yeah, that's what that was, ring rust. But
we looking. Hopefully, if you see the matchup, we know what time it is with Sean Porter. We know. Sean Porter, I like Sean Porter, but I think Sean Porter just holding the belt. You know what I'm saying? Pacquiao, somebody eventually, either the top three in the welters, either Pacquiao is going to take it from him, or Errol, or Crawford. I mean, eventually it's going to be a unified welterweight champion. It's been a while since we've seen that. But looking at a guy like Terrence Crawford to finish the fight, look, this is what he had to say, Eddie, about Amir Khan in the low blow. Quote, first of all, it wasn't a low blow. And second of all, Virgil, meaning, his trainer, knew that the fight was going in a bad direction and he saved his fighter before anything bad happened to him. And then that's what, end quote, that's what Crawford said. And he also said it was obvious he was in a lot of pain. Hunter said, this is what Virgil Hunter said. Sometimes you can continue, sometimes you can't. It depends on how hard you were hit in the testicles. I asked him if he could continue. He said no. That's what his trainer said. Now, of course, you have two different varying opinions from the man's trainer and from Crawford. But you seen the footage, Eddie. I don't think it was a low blow. I just think Amir Khan just took a chump way out. And, nobody, we don't want to see Amir Khan no more. Let him, that's a sucker way going out. What do you think about it, man? Was it a low blow or not to you?
I mean, it was a low blow, but it wasn't enough to make him want to stop, not continue, man. I mean, You got a lot on the line, man. People paid a lot of money for the fight, and you said, you want to be champion again, you want to be back in that spotlight, and you're going to let the low blow that, that I felt he could have continued. I mean, I didn't feel the punch, but like I say, to be champion, you got to go through a lot worse than that, and he knows that. I'm like, come on now. I'm like, a lot was on the line. Are you going to let a low blow stop you from accomplishing, completing your legacy and plus becoming champion again and being in the spotlight again? Come on, man. He was looking for an exit out of that fight because he knew, he was going to eventually get outboxed and then knocked out. I don't think he wanted that. He wanted that.
Yeah, the knockout was definitely coming. He was setting him up to put some pain. He already knocked him down the early rounds. Caught him with a good one. So it was definitely coming. You could see it coming. But let's move on, Eddie. Let's move on to the next fight. We're going to talk about Danny Garcia. Of course, we talked about some of the best welterweights in the game right now. We mentioned Errol Spence. We talked about Crawford. We talked about Pacquiao. We talked about Thurman. We talked about Porter. But Danny Garcia is a guy that's just on the outskirts of some of those really tough and good welterweights. You know, we talking about champions there. Danny Garcia just on the outside of that. He fought Adrian Granados, man. It was actually a very entertaining fight to say the least, man. A really entertaining fight. And he was attempting to make a return to the win column because he lost a few fights, and he really needed a good fight to kind of get him back in the game. You know what I'm saying? That he really needed a good fight to kind of bounce him back into contention again. You know what I mean? So, it was actually pretty good. Now, he had 2 division titles looking in dismantling Andrew Granados in 7 rounds. And out in Carson, California. Now, the bout topped the latest edition of Premier Boxing Champions on Fox, with the event drawing about just over 1 million viewers to watch Danny Garcia and Adrian Granados get it on. So that was pretty good, man. Now, the main event itself averaged about 1.3, almost 1.4 million viewers. You know, through the conclusion of the podcast, at the event, the telecast, it even peaked at just over 1.4 million in viewers. So besides the fact that it had a lot of viewership, it was just a terrific fight, man. And ultimately, you know, it went to Danny Garcia as he was able to, put him down. So what do you think about that excellent fight, man? Danny Garcia, as he get back on the winning side of things again.
Oh yeah, he definitely looked good. I mean, the guy was like a stand-up guy. You know what I'm saying? He was right there in front of him for him to, you know what I'm saying, to get hit. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that was a good fight for Danny Garcia. It was tailor-made for Danny Garcia. So, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? To get him back on the winning streak. But like I say, I want to see, you know what I'm saying, when get in the ring with another top guy again. You know what I'm saying? See what he's working with again. You know what I'm saying? I'll see what he's working with. Because like I said, that guy, Adrian, he was just straight up, you know, easy to hit, tailor-made, like he was hitting a punching bag, man.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, Eddie, he definitely took a lot of abuse. You know what I'm saying? And he hit Danny with some shots. Danny just hit him with some better shots and had more pop on it. But, you know, 7 really tough rounds ultimately into a TKO victory. So, man, it was then he tweeted, you know, that he's back. I'm back. Now, you know, of course, he's 35-2 with 21 knockouts, a 2-time division champion. I don't think Danny Garcia ever going to get the belt again. Now that you got Spence in there, you got Crawford in there. You know, he's outside looking in, losing, you know, to Sean Porter. He lost his, you know, opportunity to claim the belt that Thurman had, who vacated the title because of injury. They fought, Porter and Garcia fought for the belt. Porter won. And I think eventually Porter going to lose the belt eventually too, because they're just better fighters. That's just going to come in there and take them. And you just can't be a guy like, for instance, Errol Spence is tailor-made to destroy Sean Porter because he has one move that's to stay busy and to keep coming at you. Errol Spence would love that. Errol Spence would definitely love it. So would Crawford. Crawford would destroy a guy like that. He knows how to fight a guy like that. And he would just beat him up and knock him out. So, I mean, you know, those fighters have a method to handle him. Even Pacquiao can handle a guy like that. You can't out-busy Pacquiao. I mean, you know, he knows how to fight a fighter like that. He has enough experience to beat a guy like that. But Granados 20-7-2 with 4 knockouts. Has a lot of heart, but, you know, he just can't seem to get there. Like you said, he's kind of a one-trick pony. Just basically a punching bag with arms standing there in front of him, and whoever, you know, and hopefully to wail on you enough until he lands a shot or two to kind of put you down. But Danny Garcia, Fast Eddie, he trying to make a case for himself in the welterweight division. In my opinion, he on the outside looking in. What you think?
Yeah, like I said, I gotta wait and see when he fight a top guy again. If he's gonna let his hands loose, like he did with the guy standing in front of him like that, Adrian. I was like, Cause you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna see how he do against somebody that ain't gonna stand there and just let him punch on him like that. So, like I say, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take one of them type of fighters to see where take one of those fighters that's not gonna stand there and gonna be able to dish it out as well as be able to take it too. So we'll see where he's at when he get in the ring with one of them top guys again. See if, you know what I'm saying? See if he's really back.
Yeah, very true. Let's move on to our next topic, man. We're gonna move into the welterweight division now, and not to the heavyweight division. Talking a lot of welterweights, but we're gonna talk about some heavyweight stuff now. And Anthony Joshua versus Jarrell Miller is getting weird about today. You know, AJ, set up this fight with Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller basically talked himself into a fight against AJ. First of all, he was talking about his mama when he was setting up to fight Povetkin. He had Jarrell Miller behind his back talking mess, and Jarrell Miller has a big mouth. And he talked himself into this fight, but guess what? In that big mouth, he was popping steroids at the same time and putting performance enhancers while pointing the finger at AJ and saying that he's taking steroids. AJ stayed cool and calm, and then ultimately he couldn't pass the test. Now, Anthony Joshua was quoted recently saying that Jarrell Miller does not deserve to be in a ring. Jarrell Miller doesn't belong to be in a ring, doesn't deserve to be in a ring with him or anybody, and this is bad, man, and all that trash talking Jarrell Miller did. And when the first test came out dirty, he was talking crap, talking about, his bull crap. And then the second test came out dirty. The third test came out dirty. This dude just using performance enhancing drugs all over the place. Firstly, Eddie, comment on Jarrell Miller's steroid and performance enhancing drug usage, and we'll get into AJ's possible contenders.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And like I said, I was watching the video the other day where AJ was talking about, he said, I'm not gonna kick a man when he's down, but you know what I'm saying? He started talking shit to it, like saying, yeah, but he's like, if your mama needs anything, just let me know. I was like, it's fucked up. I was like, that's fucked up. I was like, I know Jarrell Miller's pissed off, but he blew that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't see why motherfuckers take them damn those sports enhancement drugs. I don't see why, man. I was like, come on. If you're that confident in your skill, man, you shouldn't have to take that type of shit, man. You know what I'm saying? He blew a perfect opportunity from that would have put him, you know what I'm saying, him and his family would have been well off, man. You know what I'm saying? Had he win that fight. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The payday from that fight alone, and win and lose, he would have been well off and shit, man. But and on top of that, he going to accuse him of doing the shit, and he doing it. I was like, come on, man. You should have known better than that. I like that shit. That whole situation is funny as hell, man. Knowing that a fight of that magnitude, you know what I'm saying, you know damn well they're going to be doing testing, and you're going to take some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to really get away with that. That shit is just crazy as hell, man.
Well, I mean, if you think that's crazy, the rematch, of course, the fight is June the 1st, and Eddie Hearns, who's the promoter, manager, handler for AJ Anthony Joshua, the 4-belt champion, has put together a list of potential opponents to replace Jarrell Miller at Madison Square Garden. So the way it is that one of the top people on the list now, and this is an updated list, is Andy Ruiz, who's 32-1 with 21 knockouts. Now, Andy Ruiz is a hell of a fighter. Issue with Andy Ruiz, he looked like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. You know, you look at Andy Ruiz, like, this guy fights. You know, he's not a good looking guy, fighter, body type to look at. He's big and sloppy looking, but that's the top guy as it stands right now. He's a hell of a fighter, don't get me wrong. And he is very skilled. He might give AJ a fight, a very good fight. Ultimately AJ will probably end up knocking him out, but it would make for interesting boxing. But he's at the top of the list right now, and a lot of people said the second guy, Luis Ortiz, is on the list, and number 2, Michael Hunter, who is a up and coming heavyweight, 16-1 with 11 knockouts. And Manuel Char, who just, I don't know what he doing, man. He holding the belt You know, and I don't know. He's a joke to me. 31-4 with 17 knockouts. Agit Kabayel, which is another heavyweight, with 19-0 with 13 knockouts. And then, of course, Don King's fighter, Trevor Bryan, who's 20-0 with 14 knockouts. So those are the 6 fighters that are on the short list to replace Jarrell Miller. And Andy Ruiz is at the top of the list right now. Now, Luis Ortiz, let's give a little background right quick on Luis Ortiz. Of course, Luis Ortiz was the fan favorite once Jarrell Miller went down. But there was tweets from Luis Ortiz's management team basically saying that this fight wasn't going to happen. First, it was 2 things. When the news first came out, first they were saying that Ortiz did not have enough time to prepare for the fight. He just fought somebody. It went the distance, but come on, Luis Ortiz should be ready to go because that fight wasn't a grueling fight. You know, he just sat there and the guy gave him a decent fight, but it wasn't a fight where you can't be ready for a championship bout. Come on. You know, that was suspect. But then the second reason, Eddie, was the fact that they said that Eddie Hearns, who's the manager for AJ, had made several lowball offers to Luis Ortiz, and it disgusted the management team to the point where they just turned it all down. Now, I understand getting paid what you feel you're worth, but in the sport of boxing, is there any such thing if you're not a champion to get paid what you worth? I mean, you're getting punched in the fucking head, man. Come on. You know, what you want a guy like Deontay Wilder, you get paid $1 million to get punched in the head by a guy like Deontay Wilder. What if you don't wake up? So you're going to risk that for like $1 million? My point is, there's no such price that you could put on something like that. You know, so especially when you're not a champion. So if you're not a champion and you're saying, well, I'm the 2nd or 3rd or 4th best fighter in the heavyweight division, who gives a damn about that? There's no belt for that. The real thing is the opportunity to fight for the belts. That's what it comes down to. So sometimes you're not going to I keep having this conversation because it keep popping up, because I keep hearing the bullshit that's coming out of Deontay Wilder's mouth, and people are so gullible they swallowing all the lemonade that Deontay Wilder, people like Deontay Wilder and the rest of these guys are spewing. If there's an opportunity, I go back to the Mayweather school of thought. You know, you decide on how much I get. I'll fight you in a phone booth, and I know I could beat you. I'll take your belts, and then I'll name my price. Whatever happened to that, Eddie? Talk to me about that. Whatever happened to that school of thinking?
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, those promoters and managers, man, they're not really they strictly business. They try to make the most money out of their fighter. They try to suck his blood, you know what I'm saying, until it's completely gone, man, and then, you know what I'm saying, then throw him away and shit. So that's what they, you know what I'm saying, that's what they control the fighters with that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they like living off the fighter's blood, man. You know what I'm saying? They draining for all his blood, and after that, then they through with him. So they, you know what I'm saying? Like the fighter, if it was left up to the fighter, they want to fight the best because you know what I'm saying. They want to make sure they want to prove that they're the best in the division. They want to fight, but the promoters won't allow it, man. And the managers and stuff, they looking for the, you know what I'm saying, the most money first before they really take a serious risk like that with or somebody that can possibly take, you know what I'm saying, take their undefeated record or take the title or something away.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane, man. Like I said, we've been following boxing for a long time, man. You know, you used to fight, I used to box. But I'm going to just be honest with you, man. You know, the old school thinking, like with Mayweather, who is going to go down as one of the greatest, if not the greatest fighter in the history of the sport. His school of thought was, you decide on what I get because you're not truly going to get paid what you're worth anyway. So I don't know what these managers are telling some of these fighters, but if it's all about if it's about collecting a check or it's about winning titles, it's about putting belts on, putting straps on. What's the deal? You know, and it says a little bit of both. One got to give, because if you fighting a champion, the champion's not going to give you a 50-50 split. Like Deontay Wilder is absolutely insane, man. Deontay Wilder's insane. I don't know. Deontay, you need to get them yes men the fuck away from you because you believe in your own garbage, man. You smoking your own dope. Them guys around you not telling you the truth. You need to cut the bullshit out, and you fighting guys like Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury don't have a fucking belt, man. AJ saying, listen, I won't fight you, I won't fight you. We ain't gonna fight him because of such and such. And then it's the bullshit between Shelly Finkel and Lou DiBella and the rest of them because they want their money before you get your money. So in the end, what I'm saying is, man, is that if it's about belts and it's about lineage and it's about championships, then you outclassed because the man got more belts than you did anything. Then you go trick yourself into thinking that the WBC belt is better than the IBF and the rest of the belts. You know, that's a matter of opinion. But 3 to 4 belts, he's carrying 4 fucking belts. You have 1 belt, man. He's a better champion than you by his belt count. I don't know what math you're using. But a unified champion, you have to get all of the belts. I don't understand the logic in talking about going fight guys like Tyson Fury and mad at Tyson Fury when Tyson Fury don't have a goddamn belt. I just don't understand the logic in that. That's why I'm saying it's foolishness going, and it's just the corner men and financial people that's telling these boxers the wrong stuff. Listen to what Mayweather said. And he has when Mayweather was running in the game, he had Al Heyman with him, and Al Heyman's a pretty good promoter. And for many years, man, Mayweather would speak about, listen, and you can hear different fights. He'll tell people, listen, you pick the venue, you decide on a split, I'll meet you, I'll fight you in the phone booth, I'll take your belts, and then I will name my price. Whatever happened to that thought process? So all you boxing people out there, chime in, tell me if you agree with me and Eddie about that. Tell me what you think about it. We also know that, you know, all this stuff about it's a dangerous sport and one shot can end it. Man, listen, man, there's risks to everything. You know, tell that to the fireman that go run up in that building to save them children. Tell that to the cops that's running up down the street protecting people when they shooting. Tell it to them. And in those professions I just named, they don't get nearly paid the amount of money that a professional boxer does. So save that bull crap for somebody else that's gullible to believe it, man. You fight for championships and belts, not just for freaking money. You know, but anyway, that's my little spew on it. It'll help heap the ticket. But anyway, that's the list, the short list we just gave you. But right now, as it stands, Luis Ortiz is out of the running. The top guy on the list is Andy Ruiz, which is a shame. I ain't saying that Andy Ruiz is a bad fighter. I've watched Andy Ruiz. His only loss came against Joseph Parker, by the way. That was a good fight, and Parker took him apart. That was a different Parker than the Parker that we seen fight Anthony Joshua. You know, he was a little bit timid and scared, in my opinion, but he was on his game then. But Andy Ruiz is a hell of a fighter, and I just want to see Luis Ortiz, man, the big man, the big bad boogeyman of the division. Take the fight, Luis. Take the fight, man. Don't listen to these managers. Take the damn fight, man. Take the fight and take his belts. Fight for his belt. You know what I'm saying? You want an opportunity. Don't let it pass you up because of the money. Take his. If you really do believe that you can beat the man, take whatever he giving you. Beat him, take his belts, and you'll be the top dog. I just don't understand why guys. Maybe they took too many punches. Maybe they believe in the wrong people. I don't know, man. But anyway, let's move on to the last topic we're gonna talk about. Christine Hammer versus Carissa Shields went down. Eddie, you big on women's boxing, man, and Carissa Shields it's been a while since we had a woman boxer to talk about that's this good. Last time I remember a boxer that was making waves like this, it was Layla Ali, man. What you think about that?
Oh yeah, well, Carissa Shields like on a whole nother level though. You know what I'm saying? She did more than any woman ever did in female boxing. She won 2 gold medalists. She won 2 gold medals in the Olympics, and she's 2 division champion already. She only had less than 10 fights, and she undisputed champion. And she keep defeating all champions. They put her up against all the best competition out there, and she running through all of them, beating them like easily, man. So I'm like, she's definitely on a whole nother level, man. She's taking women boxing to a whole nother level. I think she's gonna take it. She's gonna make them. They're gonna start fighting 3-minute rounds and 12 round 12-round championship fights. Like, you know what I'm saying? She's demanding that. She's making a breakthrough of women's boxing. You know what I'm saying? They're starting to really get respected now because of her. So, yeah, she's definitely on a whole different level than Layla Ali was.
That's a lot to say, man, because Layla Ali at one time, of course, she's sporting Muhammad Ali. That's his daughter, whatnot. But you're absolutely right about the accolades that Carissa Shield is doing. She's definitely on another level because they're, you know, as great as Layla Ali was, she didn't unify the titles like Carissa did. Carissa has the WBA, the WBC, the IBF, and the WBO belts. You know, that never a woman fighter never done that, Eddie. She's up there with the likes of Bernard Hopkins and Jermaine Taylor and one of my favorite fighters who just turned into a heavyweight, the undisputed cruiserweight champion. The man name escapes me right now.
Usyk.
Yeah, Alexander Usyk. So there you go. So I mean, there have only been four fighters in the history of boxing that have unified the belts. That is outstanding. That's never been done by a woman fighter. So, yeah, when you mention the great fighters, female fighters of the day, Carissa Shields definitely is sitting on top, and she's not done. Now, she won a unanimous decision, 98-92 on 3 judges scoring cards. She moved to 9-0 as a professional and was screaming, "What's my name?" after the bout and proclaimed herself to be the best woman boxer ever. Now, they said Hammer was in the fight and kind of took the first and possibly the 6 rounds, but the other 8 rounds were all Shield. She put up a defensive clinic. Hammer wasn't able to get anything done from range on the inside, and I mean, basically it was Carissa just dominating. And Hammer,
yeah, they tried to say Christina Hammer won the first round. I was like, bullshit. I was like, Carissa Shield won every fucking round, man. She beat the hell out of her. Dominated the whole fight. You know what I'm saying? She won every round. It was a shutout.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of holding by Christina Hammer. The only thing she could do well was hold her. And she should have lost some points with that, but they allowed her to clinch too much in the fight because she was getting her ass handed to her. But, I mean, Carissa Shields, man, it's just, you know, she was spectacular in this fight, coming away with the win. So, man, Carissa Shields, big ups to her. And she beat up Christina Hammer for 10 rounds and came out with the win. So the next thing is she wants to fight the woman that beat her in the Olympics, the only one that ever beat her. She is fighting. And they have another few women out there that she wants to kind of hone her skills at. But, man, it's just going to...
She called out Triple G and shit, man. She'll give him that business, man.
I actually think she'll beat him. Triple G, man. I don't know what to say about that guy, man. I don't know, Eddie. You know, he's still clamoring to try to get a fight at Canelo. Canelo ain't even look in his direction. You know, go fight one of them other boys. Go fight one of the Charlos. I mean, go fight the Charlo kid. You know, go fight somebody else.
Yeah, I don't have no respect for Triple G, man. I'm telling you, because he, you know, what I'm saying, he always try to fight the guys that he know he can beat, and you know what I'm saying. Only reason why he fight Canelo really because that's where the money is. He wants that money and shit. I was like, man, I can't respect him if he ain't gonna fight one of them top dudes like Charlo. I would like to see him go against Charlo, man.
You know you ain't gonna see that, Eddie. Triple G.
I was like, come on, he ain't gonna take no risks and shit. I was like, come on, man.
No, he ain't gonna take no risk.
They try to compare him to Marvin Hagler and all them got middleweight span. Like, come on, man. Them dudes took on all them, like Roy Jones and all them. Bernard Hopkins took on all comers, man. He ain't ducked nobody. You know what I'm saying? They took on all comers. Hagler took on everybody. You know what I'm saying? You can't put no damn Triple G up in that category, man. Like, come on, man. That's the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking... His complexion is what the fuck they going by. You know what I'm saying? They try to make a great white height and shit, man.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, man. When you look at it, Triple G said he's supposed to be making a return to boxing His next fight is supposed to be sometime in June, if I'm not mistaken. It's supposed to be coming up. He's supposed to be fighting in June. He's been away from it for a while, so he's supposed to be coming back, and I don't think he have an opponent yet, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll see how it goes, man, because it's one of those situations where, man, I tell you, man, he's still talking about trying to fight Canelo. He's still in love with the Canelo money that brung him in, and it's a joke now, man. It's actually a joke to me, about Triple G, man. He doesn't want to fight, but they're saying he's supposed to be coming back in June. They're supposed to be doing something in Madison Square Garden. Impossible opponents, they said no offers have been made, but a couple of the possible performers for Triple G is Steven Rolls, the former middleweight world titleist Hassan Nadam, and Golovkin plans to fight approximately at 164 pounds, which is 4 over the middleweight division limit for a non-title bout, one source said. Now, he's 38-1-1 with 34 KOs. He turned 37 recently, and he signed a 3-year, 6-fight deal, 9-figure deal with the Zone. So, Eddie, he going to fight some people. Now, of course, you're going to have a few milk toasts in there that he going to, put on the gloves for because of that the Zone deal. But when you look at it, man, Triple G to me is not must-see TV. For some people, it is. But if you fighting on milquetoast fighters and cab drivers, what's the purpose, man? He's trying to get back to Canelo. Canelo's not looking in this direction. And one thing I can respect about Canelo, many things I can respect about Canelo do it the right way. Canelo ain't scared of anybody. He takes on anybody. You call him out, he'll fight you. That's one thing I can get at, dude. He ain't no Triple G running around here playing chess, picking fighters that he can beat to preserve his record, and all this kind of stuff. Even you got guys calling him out, Charlo calling him out, and all the rest of these guys calling him out. He don't want to fight him. Like you said in his last fight when we covered the Canelo fight with him and Triple G the last time around, that Canelo showed the world how to beat Triple G. And in order to come back to the box game, he would have to change up a few things if he would intend to fight again or fight, unbalanced fighters. But you're absolutely right. When you look at the tape of how Canelo beat him, the last fight, he showed the blueprint of how to stop a guy like Triple G. And the guys, the Charlos and the rest of them, they will definitely use that. So, it's we'll see how it shape out. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you know what? Canelo looks good against a person that's going to run from him, and he cuts the ring off. You know what I'm saying? That's the guys that he'll look good against. But somebody who actually makes him fight, you know what I'm saying, and don't run from him, stand there and give him just, you know what I'm saying, be able to take what he got to give and give him something, give him back more than what he's giving them. He can't handle that shit. That's why he's avoiding the Charlos and all that. Because he knows the Charlo ain't going to run. He going to be there and fight. You know what I'm saying? But anybody, like I say, Triple G is no, you know what I'm saying, he's straight up, no special effects, man. And he only looks good against people that's going to run from him.
That's right. What?
You know what I'm saying? That's why he keeps avoiding all them other dudes, man. They ain't going to run from him. And like you said, Canelo already showed you, gave you the blueprint on how to beat his ass easily, man.
Yeah, he did, Eddie. No doubt about it, man. It's going to be interesting. We'll keep an eye on the rest of the fight game. But that's going to do it for Ring Kings Boxing episode 353. I'm your host, Big Q. We got our full-time contributor, boxing contributor, Eddie Too Mean Johnson, chiming in on the boxing knowledge. If you like the show, please subscribe to Ring King Boxing World via YouTube. Look in the links in the description section below. And also, catch us here on Spreaker as well. Comment and share the show. Ring Kings Boxing, man. Peace.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Thank you for listening to the Pro Media Network, who provides hours and hours of free edutainment to you and yours. If you are benefiting positively from our content, please donate to help us grow our platform by going to www.patreon.com/the Media Network. That's www.patreon.com/the Media Network. And support the true independent art.